All right. So, and I'll go to speaker view here. Well, I'll do gallery first. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started because it's 1:04, giving people a few minutes. So anyway, we just kind of wanted to do this. This is just for people on our team. This isn't opportunity or anything like that, but this is just, I'll introduce you to Elana, who started, I think, in September.
Yeah, I think that's when I started taking the products. Can't remember if I started selling them in October or September. I know I was at the beach when I started taking them, but I can't remember. I know I waited a month, which you encourage us kind of not to do, but I did that.
Okay. And so anyway, she can kind of share her story, but that's when she started, kind of when some of us know things got a little crazy. And so I think she's got a great story just in being able to kind of push through all of that. And then she's just going to share with us, especially being someone new to Plexus, just tips and pointers. And then I'll let people kind of ask you some questions. So, like I said, this is Elana, and this was introduced, most of us know Miranda more, but someone underneath Miranda who's Jessica, and then Jessica introduced the products to Elana. And so we've seen pretty awesome things happen, and her team is growing really quickly. And so I think getting a perspective from someone who is newer to this business is going to be awesome for all of us. So Elana, just go ahead. I know you said you've got some stuff written down, so share your knowledge with all of us, please.
All right. First of all, I just want to thank everybody for allowing me to do this. I don't know that I'm worthy, but I'll do the best I can. I wrote down some things, tips as far as what I think has helped me be successful to this point. The very first one, which is what I would probably stress to my customers as well as ambassadors, is to take the products. It's a very simple thing, but I assume everybody takes them, but not only take them, but take them consistently. I've been trying to even try all the products. Here and there, I'll order something new and try it. And so far, I haven't found anything that I don't love, which is getting expensive. But I love them all. So that was my first one, and also wear the products. And by that, I mean order you some Plexus swag. I have my Plexus water bottle. I ordered from the Plexus website.
Hold on. Sorry, I muted you for a second. Say that again.
Okay. I was saying not only take the products, but wear the products. I carry my water bottle with me. I have my shaker bottle. I have a sweatshirt. I need a t-shirt bad. And a tank top. I love those things. But, people will see, they'll see your bottle and ask you a question just from that, like whether I'm at the grocery store or just going around town. I always have my water bottle with me, and I've had people ask me questions just from that, like, what is Plexus? What is that? So it just gives you kind of a way to open conversation with complete strangers. And as also order you business cards, or I personally really like this flyer right here that has the full product line in it. And I ordered it, I think I ordered the design off of Etsy, and then I had a local printer around here in Alabama print it for me. But I like to have that on hand also, so you can hand those to people. It's great to have a business card, but it's even better when you can hand them a brochure that explains all the products. And it's not super expensive, and you can always make sure you keep up with it, and you can write it off on your taxes later on. My second big thing would be, don't be afraid to post on Facebook. That is probably, from what I'm understanding, is that's one of the most fearful things that people have, is posting on Facebook. And I kind of just chuckle at that a little bit, because I see so much junk on Facebook. And I'm like, why would we be scared to post this on Facebook when people put so much junk on Facebook? And this is not junk. This is good stuff. These are awesome products, and don't be afraid that even if you don't get any likes, because most people won't like your post. That's usually the only people who like my posts are usually my mother-in-law or my husband or maybe a couple of my friends. But for the most part, my business doesn't come from likes on Facebook. What happens is people see it. They may not do anything right away, but they keep seeing it. They see you being consistent about posting. Don't just post like once a week or whatever. I literally post 1 to 3 times a day. And I figure, if people don't want to look at it, they can hide it. And if people have a problem with it, they can send me a commission check every month. I don't care. So, and I was talking with Emily about this and talking about being afraid and being fearful. And I always include God in everything that I do. And I thought about how we're not supposed to have a spirit of fear. And that's not one of the fruits of the Spirit. I'm a big, huge fan of this Galatians 5:22, which is the fruits of the Spirit. I actually have it tattooed on my arm. But and it's, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. I love that. Not fear, but power. So, we have a lot of power in these products, and I often find this business actually does parallel a lot with my belief as a Christian to be bold and be a believer and share. And that's what we're called to do anyways as believers in Christ. But also, I'm a believer in this product, so I'm going to share it with you. I think a lot of people would benefit from it, so why not share it? So that is one of my big things, is don't be afraid. Yes, I was nervous to do this today, but I wasn't fearful because I know it's a good thing. But it is kind of scary to talk in front of people. The next thing I was thinking about was something I think Miranda, it may have been you, Emily, that said this, but that don't think about Plexus just being like your little thing, because Plexus is a lot bigger than you. I think that was Miranda that said that the other day, that it's not just about your story. It's about so many other people's stories, and that's why we have testimonials, and that's what they're for, is to share with people, because your story might not necessarily resonate with somebody, but somebody else's story might. So that's why we share those stories. So just remember, don't get overwhelmed, and just keep sharing, and just don't think you have to do it all on your own. I wouldn't be where I was today, or I am today. Not that I'm a diamond or anything, but just kind of loving this and growing with it without the help of my team. And so I just thank Emily and Miranda especially for all their help. But so I put, yes, be bold, be confident, and be a believer in the products. If you don't believe in the products, people aren't going to believe in you and what you're doing. So, and you can't be a believer in them if you don't take them. So you have to take them, which I don't know why you wouldn't want to take them anyways. The other big, huge thing is plugging in. A lot of times what your successful ambassadors are telling you, well, not all the time, not sometimes, but every time, what they're saying to you works, because obviously look at them, look what's happening in their lives. So follow their advice. Go to events. Like I went to Super Saturday in Nashville, didn't know a soul there. I had talked with Emily a little bit, and like literally in the lobby looking for somebody I've never met before, but we had a great time, and I made like 4 or 5 new friends that day, and it was just really fun. There's the opportunity of a lifetime tour that's still going on, I believe. Tracy, my friend Tracy, and I were going to go, but they were having like tornadoes or something, and we didn't get to go. But if you can maybe catch one of those, have your own sip and see or launch party. Even if it's not like 12 people coming, maybe it's just 1 or 2 people. You never know what those 1 or 2 people could do for your business. So just go on to Facebook, set up the event, and show up and do it. Like, I mean, that's pretty much how it is. You don't have to have a big, well, the first time I had too much food and I had way too much pink drink that I had to pour out. You only need one bottle. um, Miranda can tell you about that. But so yeah, so just set up the event, invite people, post about the products, and then just do your event. And if you, like I said, if you're not comfortable doing it by yourself, get another ambassador, maybe somebody that's a rank ahead of you or whatever to come with you and do it. The other thing is super helpful is Zoom calls. I know we have those usually just about like once a week. Normally it's really hard for me to get on there, but I've found that when I do, yes, it's kind of an inconvenience in a way, because I get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and the calls are at 9 o'clock. But it's 30 minutes, and I usually come away with learning something new every time, something that's beneficial, whether it be something about a product that I didn't know about, or just some advice on the business. But I've never came away with thinking, man, that was a big waste of my time. I've always learned something from doing one of those Zoom calls. And I love it because I can literally sit in my bed in my PJs, no makeup on. And now that I figured out you can turn your video off. So people don't even have to really look at you. So that's kind of cool. I feel like I'm going really fast. But then, yeah, with the system issues, which I know we're having more right now, go get your kid, Emily. The system issues we had with the changeover, that was awful. But like I said, that was when I had first started, and it was definitely a challenge. I spent a lot of time on the phone with customer service, and actually not a lot of time on the phone. I spent a lot of time on hold. But you know what? You can do a lot of things while you're on hold. So that's the way I just kind of looked at it. Just called them and let my phone just go while I did whatever I needed to do. And then just like I said, that's life. Things like that are going to happen. It stinks when it happens, but you know that's part of growing in this business is getting through the struggles. So maybe one day they'll get it all figured out, and we won't have to deal with shipping issues or customer service issues. I will say, once you get customer service on the phone, they are always extremely helpful and super friendly, and very apologetic. And usually sometimes they'll send you something free. It's kind of nice. But so yeah, just when there's system issues, don't try to just take it all on yourself. Talk to your team. Don't talk to your customers about it. Talk to your team, and y'all can get through it together. And then following up with customers, I will say that's the area that I need to work on better, or more, because my business has kind of grown really fast, and it's kind of hard to follow up with customers. But what I'm intending to do is I've printed out a list of all my customers, not so much my ambassadors, because I see them and talk with them more on a daily basis, but my customers, and just sending them a quick text or email or phone call saying, hey, how's it going with the products? And just see if they have any questions, or, you know, they may have stopped taking the products and you need to encourage them to keep taking them. And I would say the last thing, and this is just for me personally, I feel like praying for your business is one of the biggest things. I have another business where I teach boot camp, and from day one, I've always prayed not only for that business, but we actually pray at class. So I feel like I feel like God is blessing me through this business, and He just keeps opening doors and wonderful people, and I just, like I said, give Him the glory for everything that's happening. And just definitely pray about your business. If it's not something that you're supposed to be doing, believe me, He'll let you know. But right now, I just think this is a great company, and I'm loving it. I love the products. I love being on a great team, and just awesome people. And one other thing, when you see, I've got a few people that I'm friends with that I don't know them personally, but they have great posts. They have like, I think of what's Sophie. I like Sophie's posts. Like certain people that I really like their posts, and they're very consistent about posting. send them a friend request and tell them, hey, you're a Plexus ambassador, and that you're you like some of their posts, and if you could maybe use them or something in the future. I've done that with like 3 or 4 different people that I just really like their posts. And also follow fellow ambassadors, especially diamonds. Follow them, and they'll post, and I don't think any diamond's going to have an issue with you using one of their posts. So find other Plexus people on Facebook. That way you don't have to always just use, like if you're on my team, you don't have to always just use my posts. You can use posts from other people. And then you have Plexus Testimonials as a Facebook page that you can use too. But yeah, just be really consistent about posting. I really think that that's been my biggest thing. And I know that you're going to have skeptics and you're going to have haters. Believe me, I have them. And some of them are some of my best friends. And I had to pray about that this morning in my Bible study, and just don't let them get you down. Just keep on plugging away, and one day they're going to come knocking on your door going, man, I think maybe I'm interested in that Plexus stuff. You're going to be like, yeah. So when you pick them up in your Lexus, they might have something to say about it. But anyway, so like I said, just be consistent. Be honest, definitely be honest. And you don't have to know everything, and that's cool. That's one of the cool parts about this business is you have other people in your team that can help you out. And if you don't know, just say, you know what, actually, I don't know the answer to that. Can I get back to you? And we're not expected to know everything. So, and if somebody expects you to know everything, then I don't know about them. But like I said, just get through it and lean on your team, post consistently, be consistent with the products, and plug in, have events. As soon as you sign up to be an ambassador, if you are signing up to build a business, have an event right away and order you some business cards and brochures to hand out.
And so thank you. Let me, hold on. I'm going to unmute people.
Okay.
All right. Because it can get kind of loud with all that. Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, all really, really, really good tips. And like I said, I mean, I've kind of, I guess we met in January, right? Because that would be Super Saturday. And so just over the last 2 months, I've seen a ton of growth for Elana. But I'd say probably a big thing as far as your team, because even at Super Saturday, like she didn't know what anything was, did she?
No, I didn't know until what a Zoom call was or how to do a 3-way phone call. Emily had to teach me how to do it.
Well, I mean, it was something you're like, what? I don't know how many. Anyway, so it was just awesome once, plugging Elana in, saying, okay, like if this is what you want to do, this is kind of how you get there. And what's been so awesome is, a lot of times, like she said, I'm sorry, I'm just checking to make sure he's not going down the stairs. Because he's getting smarter the older he gets. It is, doing those things that a lot of us, are afraid to do, right? Because of rejection, or afraid no one's going to show up, or afraid what are people going to think. And what I've seen, with Elana is like there's really not fear in that. Like when Miranda and I were like, okay, we're going to be in town on this date, like we would love to do a launch/training. And it was like, okay, she set up not knowing if one person was even going to come, but it was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do, do these things. So, which has been, really, really encouraging. And, and so it's a lot of times with activity, we see things start to happen, and, which has been really great. If y'all want, I'm sure there are several questions. So if anyone has a question that you want to ask Elana, and she can help you out with whatever it might be. Did y'all have any? Just put your hand up. And Claire?
Okay, I'm gonna maybe put you on the spot, and this
Oh,
might make you feel uncomfortable, especially if you don't like talking on video. But I'm curious, like let's say you're in the grocery store and you have your Plexus water bottle, and someone comes up to you and is like, "What's that?" I just sort of want you to, I don't know, pretend like I'm that person or one of us is that person, and just I'd like to hear what you have to say to new people, because I feel like you have a real passion for the products,
mhm.
and I'm struggling with that part of it right now. And so I that's one of the reasons I was real interested in doing this call, is to I want to hear your passion, and that helps me
Okay.
remember why I take these products every day, and I have for the last year. I mean, I obviously love them or I wouldn't do that, but I'm sort of at like a, I don't know, a little bit of a valley period.
Okay. Well, I think a lot of it for me too is having a passion for people. And I just love meeting new people and talking to people, and that helps. But also, just when they ask me what is Plexus, I just straight up tell them what it is. I'm like, it's a health and wellness company, and I work for that company. I'm an ambassador for that company, and we sell supplements like vitamins, and I kind of just keep it real basic with them. Like, it's a health and wellness company. We sell products that help people with uh, always like blood pressure, blood sugar levels, and uh, cholesterol, weight loss, those types of things, just things that people might be dealing with, diabetes. I just throw out some of the things that what Plexus does. What is it? It's a health and wellness company. And how do the products help people? And then I tell them, some of the things that it helps with. But then I also tell them about energy, because so many people will say, oh, I'm just so tired. As soon as I hear that I'm so tired, all of a sudden my antennas come up, and I'm like, oh, well, actually, I sell health supplements that can really help you with energy. And so sometimes people are like, oh, really? Like, I don't know how many times at Publix I've given out my um, brochure. I haven't had anybody take any or purchase yet, but just sharing it with them, and just not being afraid to just say, hey, this is what I sell. This is what the products are. And I always show them where my website is, and my phone number, and just tell them that if they have any questions to give me a call. But I mean, and I really don't get a lot of that out, like just random stuff. My business has really grown from, I would say, definitely from posting, and then people will come back to me later, and like I said, nobody hardly ever likes my post, but it's amazing when they see me out, people go, what is that Plexus stuff you're selling? Tell me about that Plexus stuff. I hear it all the time. That's when I can really open up to them and say, you know, what is Plexus? I say it's a health and wellness company. I'm an ambassador for them. I've been taking the products. I love the products. They help with certain, and then I start going down the list of what Plexus helps people with. And sometimes I even include how it started out. It started out as a company that helps with breast health, and then they help people with diabetics, and now they've expanded their line to help other people in other areas. So does that help?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Thank you.
don't know if it does or not, but I don't know. It just kind of comes out. Sometimes it doesn't come out very pretty, but sometimes it does. Um,
So
yeah, I think.
do
I'm
you
sorry.
private message people every day too, like on Facebook?
Only time I private message people is if they actually like my post, and then I have kind of like some verbiage written up in my notes section of my phone, and I will message them in a private message and say, hey, I noticed that you like my Facebook post. I'd love to tell you more about these products. If you're interested, let me know and we can talk or whatever. And then, or I may just go ahead and expound on what Plexus is, and but I don't ever send to my website or anything like that. I just say, let me know if you're interested, or if you're interested, I can send you my website and you can check it out, something like that. So that's normally how I get, how a lot of it happens.
And Claire, I was going to touch on too, because I've been how you feel as far as when you've got your ups and downs and ups and downs. And especially when I got to where I wasn't feeling well and just knew Plexus was my answer. And it just wasn't an overnight answer. So you've got those periods where it's just, where it can be a struggle. And a few things that helped me was, number one, plugging in, so listening to people's stories, watching a Diamond documentary, seeing these, Super Saturday. That was huge for me because it was like, look around this room and look at the thousands of people that have had results with these products. So, today I might not feel amazing, but I can't deny that there's something here. So it was plugging into those stories. And then for me, with just so much healing, that's definitely brought a different kind of passion on, but plugging in with your team, plugging in with anything and everything that you can, because when you feel like you're in it alone, like that's not fun. And when you feel like you're in it alone, pretty soon you could stop and you could quit,
Well, can I add one thing real quick? When you plug into, you learn. Each time we've had an event, or each time I've had a live event or something, I always learn something new. And when you learn, you get more confident with the products and in sharing the products. So I think that helps a lot too. It's just, when you plug in, you learn. Every time you go to an event or have a sip and see or something, you're always learning more and training yourself to be able to talk about the products, to where you're going to get to the point where when you are out in public talking to a stranger, you'll bring it up and it'll come out easier and you have more confidence about it.
Yeah. And I'd say too that plugging in on Zooms is awesome, but whatever live event, so if they're in your area, go, because now you're connecting face to face with real people, with real stories. And that can be easy to be like, oh my gosh, well, I've got this, and this to do. And I get that, but I also had to tell Trey, like this is something I have to do this. Otherwise, my spirit in this will dwindle away. And that's kind of when it came into my head. And I don't know if you were on the call, Claire, when I said, as I was at Super Saturday, I kind of had an epiphany of and again, I make it clear, I'm not comparing Jesus and the Bible and Plexus, but in a way I am. That we go to church every week, and it's so that we connect with other people who are like-minded, to remind ourselves of the gospel, to remind ourselves why Jesus, what he said and what he did, why that's very real and why that matters. And the more that you stay out of that and the more that you disconnect from, I feel like other believers, the easier it is to just kind of be very inward and to be like, oh yeah, I know that the Bible says that's true, but I'm not so sure anymore. The more that we pull away. And so I was, as Plexus is, the more that I disconnect, the more I tend to believe, my thoughts about what Plexus is and not see a much bigger story. So it really came in January when I was like, okay, I'm doing this, and my big thing is connecting people, because when you connect people, I feel like there's something much more special. So I don't know if that makes sense, but for me, it kind of changed everything, and that was just 2 months ago. So, but it had to be a mind shift of okay. Because before then it'd be back and forth, and as women, we can be very emotional, with things. And so yeah. But any other questions from anyone? Anyone?
I'll ask one. Can you hear me?
Hey, Leanne. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So you just mentioned emailing people that that like your post. And I, like, just got started last week, and I sent out an email, last night, I think. I mean, not an email, a Facebook post, my first post, saying that I had gotten started and what I was hoping to do or get out of it. And so people have liked it, but are they liking it because they're my friend and they're glad that I'm doing something for myself, or should I message them?
Message them.
Yeah, my response, and Miranda, you may have something different, but I would say, hey, I noticed you like my post. I don't know if you were just being supportive, but hey, this is what I'm doing. I'd love for you to come along this journey with me and just explain to them the process of what you're doing and how there's really like zero risk involved. I mean, $34.99 to sign up, and then you get your products at wholesale. So to me, I would definitely message those people, because whether they're just supporting you or they actually have interest in it, you'll never know unless you message them.
I agree. I mean, I would just lay it out there to them and know this is what it is. This is how it's helping people. I just saw that you liked it and wanted to tell you a little bit more about it. I kind of do the same thing with, I see somebody mentions a health issue on one of their posts. I'll just say, hey, I saw that you're dealing with such and such. And I've read several testimonies from different people, how this has helped them. And, I would love to give you some more information. And I mean, I've gotten a couple of people just, at least interested, if not, purchasing, just by paying attention to what they post and what they need help with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'd say too, along with that is just, and this can be hard because, and I think some of us have heard it before, but to not be apologetic. And so I have to go through even my messages now when I go to people and be like, no, take that out. That seems like you're embarrassed. Take that out. That seems like, oh, what I'm doing is bother. Take these things out of my messages. If it's coming across that I'm not 100% sure that this could help. I never like to say I'm 100% sure this is going to do, because we're not. But I'm not going to be apologetic about these things because I've seen it help so many. And so I used to see posts and be like, I'd go back and forth. Do I do it? Do I not? Do I do it? Do it? And kind of like Elena said, like, if you have a passion for people and this person is struggling and of something that's helped hundreds and thousands of people, but you're like, I just don't know. And I used to be like that, so I don't put that down. But when I've approached people differently with just more of a confidence, they've always responded, where I used to get a lot of just ignoring. And it's kind of, not saying that they're all purchasing, but thank you so much, Emily, for thinking of me, and blah, 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 blah. And then they'll kind of go more into their story. So I think if it comes from a genuine place and you're genuinely concerned about what it is that they're going through and you're not trying to sell them something, I think it comes across differently. So, but I think when we're apologetic, like if someone's coming to me with something, but they're like, then I might be like, well, I don't know if it really, because why would they be coming to me and then apologizing for what it is that they're offering? Does that make sense? So,
and I know for me, like, it used to be kind of hard for me to just even mention to some people, if they were posting about a health issue. But I started looking at it as if I was having something that I was dealing with and somebody had something that could help and they didn't share it with me, then, where are you then? So, try to be confident in that you have something that could possibly help them, and you're letting them know that. They're going to be grateful that you're giving them an opportunity of knowing about something that could help.
Right. And I think that will change. To me, that's kind of changed. Hold on. Oh, you're going to get hurt. Oh, there you go. Sorry. Baby at my feet. Eating a sucker. Don't judge. It's keeping him quiet.
He needs some Slim really bad.
Like, all these health products. My baby's got like a Tootsie Roll.
Hey, sometimes it's whatever works.
But he's white. So yeah, I mean, I really a lot of it, Claire, does come down to just like confidence and belief. And sometimes when you feel like you might be losing that confidence, I say go back and just kind of continue to fill your mind with just the positive stories and things that Plexus is doing for people. You know, so even if it's not doing it for you at the moment, but you have to kind of look back on your journey and be like, oh my gosh, it is, you know. But when you feel like that, plugging into those is really, really beneficial. And but yes, Leanne, everyone, message them if they're liking. I mean, that's just people to go to. And so, yeah. So, is there any others or anything else, Elana, that you can think of that?
I came in on this late. Sorry, I came in on this late. I was just wondering, how long have you been doing Plexus, Elana?
I think I started taking the product in September, and then I started sharing the product on Facebook I think it may have been August, September instead of September, October, but I really can't remember. I will tell you this though, like, I remember when I signed up, and my ambassador that I signed up under, she said, I've never had a backup order ship, which, you know what I mean, like if you don't have your $100 PV, then your backup order will ship. And I remember thinking, wow, really? And it's crazy. Like, my backup order has never shipped. I've always had to personally, because I don't have it. Well, one, I don't have it set to unconditional, but I mean, it was pretty quick as far as people being interested and people, me selling enough of it to cover my products. And I think that's really cool about this business is it's really legit, a really legit way to make money. It's not one of those, like, I've sold Mary Kay and I'm not knocking it, but you know, you have to do a lot of work before you make some money, where with this company, I don't feel that way at all. I feel like, yeah, it's taken a few months, but every month I've gotten a commission check, whether it be for $20 or $600 or whatever. And it's just growing every month. It goes up and up and up. So I see a lot of potential financially from this. And I'm setting my goal very high, and I'm not going to stop till I get there. And I talk to everybody, I tell everybody that. I'm like, you can call me crazy, whatever you want to do. But when I'm driving around in that Lexus, you just wait, you know. So just be confident, be consistent, and don't let skeptical naysayer people bring you down, okay? And just be the product, live the product, take the product, and plug in. Like I said, that's the best thing you can do is just be consistent and try to plug in wherever you can. Lean on your team. Don't try to do it all yourself. If you have questions, lean on your team. You know, ask people questions that are fellow ambassadors that are on Facebook. You know, just pull from different areas.
Yeah, and I had a thought and it just went away. It was something you just said. Well, it was wiping some sticky hands and I forgot. The talking about naysayers, because like if you don't have them, that would be somewhat surprising. I mean, right, Emily? I know for you, day one, someone reached out to her and like really made fun of her. And
one of my really good friends, like within, I think like my first or second post on Facebook, like started like literally like making fun of me and texting me. And she's just kind of that personality anyway. But I was like, you are actually being really mean right now. You know? And we had a really big conversation. It was really hard. It she was being unusually mean, honestly. But it was really hard. I cried, and but I really kind of had to reorient myself and be like, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, she literally just doesn't understand, And so I kind of and some people are not going to. And I've got a couple friends actually that like, they just don't understand. And I know that over time, I think that things that they were skeptical about the first couple of months, now that they can see I'm still sticking with it, like I know that they're probably seeing like success stories I posted on Facebook. Like they probably, I don't know if they're interested in ever trying it. Maybe we'll see. But like, I'm sure that they don't feel the same skepticism that they used to. Do you know what I mean? Like when they see you sticking it out and they're like, oh, I guess she's serious about this. Oh, I guess it's actually worked. You know what I mean? And so a lot of that's just kind of playing the long game. But the whole time, like telling myself of like, this is okay. Like kind of like what Emily was saying, like surrounding yourself with people who get it and who can remind you and say like, this is a good thing, and people that are skeptical, like that's okay for them to be skeptical. Like so many, like Jules started out as completely skeptical. I'm sure we all did to some degree, but like, this is a good thing. And just immersing yourself in that, people to remind you of that. Because if I had let that stop me, like if I hadn't reached out to Emily and told her, oh my gosh, listen to what happened. And she was, empathizing with me. If I just let that be like, well, shoot, my friend is being mean to me about this. Like, oh my gosh, was I supposed to just not do this because she acted like that,
Right.
And I mean, that would have been ridiculous looking back in the past year and a half that I've been doing this. Like, I can't believe what I would have missed out on if I had let that stop me. But, yeah, so I think it's normal. And I will say probably if you don't run into some skepticism and probably one or two slightly rude people, it probably means you're not talking about it enough. Because it probably means that they don't know you're doing it or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I would absolutely agree, because that happens a lot. I mean, it's like the negative people are the ones that get the say so and how all of us live our lives. And I'm like, no, you don't,
Well, and it's just one more thing. So many things in this business of, we always hear that it's so much about personal growth. And that's just one of those things that, as we get into adulthood, you kind of learn to own it, own like who you are and your personality and your quirks that maybe you were self-conscious about when you were younger. And the older you get, you're more like, this is just the way I am. And that's okay. And so it's kind of been like that for me. And it's just been a really growing process of me just owning, like, this is what I'm doing. And it's a really, really good thing. And it's meeting a lot of needs of our family and, providing a future that we wouldn't have had otherwise. And just owning that has been a really good growth process for me, just personally, that I think has bled over into other areas,
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, I kept hearing personal growth, especially in the beginning. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, I just didn't understand. But as I can, continue and still do, I'm like, okay, like that makes sense, because if, I'm like, it's not for the weak, as far as, because as much as I'd like to say, oh, I don't care what people think, I still do, and I can pretend like I don't, but, and it's just kind of come down to, because I recently, even with one of my sisters, just had to say, you know what, like, this is my business, and it's done these really wonderful things for me, and, and if you don't like to look at my post, you can unfriend me, and not in a mean way, and we can be friends on Instagram. If you're wanting, not friends on Instagram, that makes it sound like we wouldn't be friends, but like if you want to keep up with pictures, and I think for her, she was like, oh my gosh, Emily, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't even mean it that way at all. Yeah.
Nice.
But
He needs another sucker.
but I think sometimes if you do kind of address it, and I've kind of had to do that with a few, and not in a mean way, but just like, this is something really important to me, and and just like I wouldn't go to your nursing job and make fun of you for I'd want the same. And she was very apologetic. So you know what? So yeah, I hope that kind of answers anything. Does anyone else? I know some of us have been in it a little bit longer. Any other tips or anything for anyone new? I would just say, like, don't stop, don't give up. You're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna have people that love it. You're gonna have people that don't love it. And that's okay. I mean, if I said 100% of my people, but I will say this, and this is true, anyone that has stuck with it, if they're the 30-day quitters, I don't even count them. Anyone that has stuck with it for the amount of time that I've said do it, they have all been happy. And that is true. The people that stick with it. So I let them know it is not an overnight fix. And those people, I've got some very loyal customers because of that, and then ambassadors. So yeah. So you can do it, guys. You can do it. So, all right. Well, if there's not any other questions, Leanne, do you have any more? I know that, like, you're brand new and you're good. Okay. Claire, did that help answer some things?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Okay. And but you're doing awesome, and just be consistent and be confident, and like Elana said, be bold. Because you say go, yes. Because y'all can do this. It's an amazing company, an amazing business, and good things are happening. Yes, they are. And so, all righty. Well, I think we're done. Is there anything else before I stop the meeting? All right.
Thank
Well, y'all have a
you.
good afternoon.
Thank you.
Evening
Bye.
again, and I'll see y'all later. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.